Now personally, I haven't played Super Mario Maker 2 in ages because I was super busy with either work or playing other games like God of War 4 on my Steam Deck, which I highly recommend. However, recently I saw that the community is still alive and loads of people are getting back into the game again. And so I thought it would be a good idea to make a video on it. And I have found the perfect topic: the glitches that are seen in the game. Because some of these are absolutely crazy and allow you to create some cool stuff in levels or get past obstacles a lot easier. And so today we will look into some of the most mental glitches and tricks that can be found within Super Mario Maker 2. So let's dive right in. But first, introducing my new store, Wily.gg, the place to buy your new games and get your hands on eShop cards for Nintendo as well as Xbox. And don't forget, use code Wily at checkout to save 10%. Now let's continue. Number 5. Now to start off, we will begin with a simple one that is actually useful for the average player, as well as people making levels. It is known as the Bill Blaster Elevator, and you can use it for all kinds of things. Now in order to set this up, you need to put a few conveyor belts together and place Bill Blasters on the same height on top of them. At that point, you have to mess around with a number of objects to make this work, like a power-up, a musical note block, and more. To be honest, I'm not going to get into the details here, because this is no tutorial video. Now, as you can see right here, the glitch is quite simple to understand. The blue P-switch bounces on top of the musical block, and thanks to this, both go up and down constantly. And if you now stand underneath it, the block will push you away into the Bill Blaster. At that point, the game is slightly confused, and so multiple different things can happen depending on what you do. If you jump, then you end up at the top of the Bill Blaster. This is why it's known as the elevator. But if you use the grab button, you will actually grab the nearest block, which creates a hole there, and so you end up there. In general, it tries to force you out as soon as it can, so you don't always end up at the top of the Bill Blaster. As you can imagine, something like this can be used for all kinds of things in levels. Heck, in this example here, you could build something really cool as well. For example, you go up the elevator and have to jump on the bullet bills in order to make it to the other side. Simple idea, but it shows what you can do. And personally, I quite like it. Number 4. Alright everyone, time to buckle up, because the next glitch I will talk about is weird and complex, but it is necessary for a lot of other tricks seen in the game. It's known as the black hole, and I'm going to do my best to explain it a bit to all of you. Now, the method to perform this glitch differs between the Super Mario 3D World setting and all the other styles, but usually it comes down to either using warp pipes together with big bloopers, or tracks, hard blocks, and a big thwomp. Now, this glitch messes with a lot of things. For example, it causes terrain such as pipes, spike blocks, fire bars, wigglers, twisters, arrow signs, and exclamation mark blocks to overlap, and the ground to connect incorrectly. Aside from that, you can infinitely clone stuff and also lift 3D World exclusive elements to the other styles and vice versa. It is often used as the base layer glitch, and at that point people can build on top of it to make something really cool. Now personally, I understand it to an extent, but I'm certainly no expert and it still confuses me. But I can clearly see that it allows most players to put a lot more down in their levels and use certain things you can normally never place. So while it is a bit complicated and seems to do nothing, it is pretty cool. Number 3. Now, while the last one we talked about was truly groundbreaking for the glitch scene in Super Mario Maker 2, our next one is just a bit silly and not really useful. But it does allow you to do something that most people always wanted: moving around after hitting the goal pole. As you can see in this clip, it is possible to still have control of your character after touching the goal pole. This can be achieved by collecting a power-up that triggers a form change, and then entering a door or pipe that leads to anywhere in the goal pole. In the end, you can see that you are glitching out a bit, but the flag will come down, and at that point you can do whatever you want. You will have control of the character for about 20 seconds, and after that the course will end and you're kicked out. Now again, you can't really do anything with this, but it is a neat little trick, and I know a lot of people always wondered if this was possible in older games. Heck, there are even entire rumor threads covering potential tricks for jumping over a flagpole, so clearly fans are a bit obsessed with this. So I think it's pretty neat. Number 2. Now the last one was a bit of a joke, as you can imagine. However, the next we will cover is actually sick and allows for some insane stuff. It's known as the claw lick glitch, and might be even more insane than the black hole trick. Now for this you have to use Yoshi, because he has to lick a POW block, P-switch or trampoline just as it's grabbed by a swinging claw. If you pull this off, which can be a bit of a trial and error experience, the game will think the item is both in Yoshi's mouth and not in Yoshi's mouth at the same time, creating an invisible item. But this item can still be interacted with and can be grabbed, which allows for a lot of cool stuff. One of those things is hyperspeed, which you can do by crouching and turning with a POW block or P-switch in Yoshi's mouth. But there's more! You can use it to glide over walls, other players can stand on the blocks in Yoshi's mouth, and using an item like a spike ball allows you to clear a path ahead. And these are just some examples of what you can do with this glitch. Really, this one is hella wild to say the least. It allows for stuff that I thought was impossible, but clearly it isn't, as you can see right here. However, we got one glitch left to cover, so let's move on to the final one. Number 1. Alright, our number 1. Another glitch that is incredibly fun and could be used for something really cool in a level. Although at this point in the video, I do have to mention, you cannot release levels with glitches in them, and even if you pull it off, you could be punished. So you have been warned. Now this next one is called the giant clown car glitch. And for this one, you need to place a giant Bowser in a clown car away from the black hole. You know, the glitch that I covered earlier? At that point, you drag Bowser into the black hole, and then you need to undo it once. The result is a giant clown car with an invisible Bowser in it, and placing another giant Bowser above the giant clown car results in an even larger clown car. As you can imagine, this is terrifying, and placing something like this in a level could be a fun boss fight of sorts. Or just something that hovers above like a Death Star, which will turn your life into a living hell, as you can see in this video. Either way, I love it. It's just a shame you can't do much with it, because you can't share them online. Although there are ways to save them on your Switch. But as you can see, Super Mario Maker 2 can be a completely crazy game if you know how to manipulate it. And I covered only a handful of things. However, if you want more content like this, be sure to check out my other videos. Thank you all so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, click the bell button, leave a comment, do all the good stuff. I read comments, yes I do. I see what you're typing, little man. Yeah, I just hope you enjoyed and help out your boy. Bye! Mwah! Big kiss from Papa Wily.